We made one change and 4x a client's views on YouTube in just 1 week. Want to know how? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about that today. Okay, so what I just did for you is called a hook. Now, we've probably all heard of hooks, thought about hooks before, seen really great hooks on videos and in content, but most of us struggle with hooks. And I get it. You're sitting there and you're thinking, what do I write? How do I phrase this? How do I get someone's attention? Because that's the point of the hook. The hook is to grab someone's attention and then cause them to continue consuming the content, right? And learning from you. That's why we do it. But they're not that easy. And so we're going to be doing an entire series on hooks and the hook formulas, because they're actually formulas that you can use to create and craft great hooks inside of our community at contentcoach.social. But today, I want to talk about that hook that I just gave you and explain some of the theory behind hooks. Okay, so now when we're talking about YouTube and we're talking about video, there are really two places that hooks come into play. The first one is in your thumbnail, and then the second one is the start of your video. Okay, the thumbnail and the start of your video. Now, with your thumbnail, the hook, the words on your thumbnail, the image on your thumbnail is crucially important because it's the very first thing that the viewer sees about your video. Whether they encountered your video on Google search, whether they were on YouTube and encountered your video through the browse feature or the search feature or the suggested feature, however they found your video, the very first thing they see is the thumbnail. And if that thumbnail doesn't grab them and hold them, they're not going to click on it. If the next video on the list has a better thumbnail than yours, might be your worst video, they're going to click on that. And so mastering your thumbnails is something that's very, very important, okay? Mastering the thumbnails and the words that you use. You want as few words on your thumbnail as possible because you want someone to see it, and you want it to grab them, and you want them to say yes. So that's the first place that you need hooks, your thumbnail. The second place is the most obvious one, which is the start of your video, right? The start of the video. The video starts, and it starts off with a bang. It starts off with something that says, please lean in and listen. Stick around and hear what I have to say. But that leads to something that's super important. Because so many of us, and I don't mean me and you, I'm talking about us in general, people who create content. We create fantastic hooks, thumbnails, or even starts of videos, and then we don't deliver in the video. We don't deliver. The video kind of wah, 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 wah. And it doesn't deliver on the promise of that hook. So I told you we 4x in 1 week. Guess how we did that? How did we 4x views in 1 week? We went in and we actually updated the thumbnails for this client. And when we updated the thumbnails for this client, all of a sudden, pew, viewership went up. That's all it took. We changed the hooks on the thumbnail. We changed the design of the thumbnail. We looked at where the thumbnail was showing up and who else was showing up and saw, oh, that's why they're not clicking on it. Theirs look way better. Their hooks are better. And so we redesigned the thumbnails, republished the thumbnails, and all of a sudden, we're getting more views. We're getting more views. So that's how we 4x'd in 1 week. So you've got to deliver on what the hook said. If you have a fantastic hook to get someone to lean in, you must deliver on the hook, okay? So how do you know when your hooks are effective? And what metrics actually matter? How do you figure all of that out? Well, there are a couple things that you need to look at. The first one is you look at your click-through rate in your Google Analytics. Sorry, not your Google, in your YouTube Analytics. You go in and you look at your click-through rate. Okay? What the click-through rate tells you is we showed your thumbnail this number of times, and this is the percentage of people that actually clicked on it. The higher the click-through rate, the more effective the thumbnail. The higher the click-through rate, the more effective the thumbnail. Now, the ideal benchmark is about 6%. Okay? 6% is where you want to be ideally. So if you're going into your analytics now and you're seeing you're at 1%, yeah, you've got a thumbnail problem on your click-through. If your click-through rate is at 1%, you have a thumbnail problem, and you need to update your thumbnails because they're not hooking the user, the viewer. They're not hooking them. Okay, so that's first metric that you need to check. The second metric that you need to check is the average view duration. So what this will tell you is, okay, I got somebody to listen. So they clicked on it, they listened, but how much did they listen? How much of this are they actually consuming? Because if they heard my hook and then I got started and I didn't deliver, they don't feel like I'm going to deliver on the hook, they'll stop watching quickly. They'll stop watching quickly. And so your average view duration, you want that to be north of 30%. North of 30%. So those are the two metrics that matter when you're looking at your hooks, whether it's your thumbnail or your opening hook in your video, making sure that they're grabbing the user, the viewer, and having them actually consume your content. So wanted to frame all that for you. If you want the actual hook formulas, reach out to me about joining the community, because we're going to be going through at least 20 different hook formulas with examples and showing you how to use them inside the community. And it's going to be great, actually. It's going to be great, and it's going to help you learn how to be better with creating hooks and getting more of your ideal viewer to watch your videos. All right, see you next time.